Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. It is a conservative coin collector. Sure hope you're all having a good one. A little update about my life. There's going to be no more Coinstar finds videos for probably ever. Because the Coinstar where I work, it's still there, but me working there isn't a thing anymore. I left that job, and one thing that I decided to do was the coin shop that I have frequented the last couple of months. Yeah, he was looking for a position for me, maybe to help out once every few weeks for a couple hours. And I was more than willing to take it because I know nothing about running a coin shop or owning a coin shop or working at a coin shop. And it was my initial, kind of like my initial long-term goal was to eventually do it maybe when I'm old and retired. But for the moment, I'm looking for something a little more full-time. But that's not why that's not my discussion. A little bit about the coin shop. I'll give you some positive and some negative. And the coin shop is called Nice Coins and Collectibles. It's run by Dan Jr. and Dan Sr. He sells coins and dollar bills and stuff like that. Dan Sr. sells like Magic Gathering cards, Pokemon cards, cards like that. And it's a good business. They do have quite a bit of business where they are, like 10 minutes from my house, but that's not all the business that they have. As with any modern business owner in the 2020s, they also have a lot of stuff they do online. And I don't know if they use any other auction websites, but the website that I have been on to help with is called Whatnot. And it's an interesting to use Whatnot because, I mean, when it comes to setting it up and making sure everything's all hunky-dory, I don't do any of that. I just sit at the desk, talk for 2 hours, try to sell some coins, and let me give you an example of what I can sell. Say that he wants me to sell this coin here. It is a 2022 Canadian quarter. And let's say, just being a regular quarter, he says, run it at $1. And if it sells, it sells. If it doesn't, put it to the side. And we can either run it again later, or not run it again at auction. And sometimes it sells for $1, or it can sell for $2 or $5 or $8 or whatever. But say it was something with a little more value to it. Something more specialty custom or something with a higher price would be this. It's a 1953 quarter. This is actually something I tried selling actually today. Today I was there for a couple of hours trying to sell some coins. And this is, if it was just like a bicentennial or a non-silver, just a bigger clad quarter, he'd probably be okay with selling this for $1 or $2. But because it has 90% silver in it, and he wants to sell it for melt, if anything. So that I would put a minimum $11. And if it's sold, it's sold. If it didn't, it didn't. It's an extra step of going to the menu and put it in your custom price. It's all about trying to make some money. Like, to put it in the simplest terms possible, let's say I want to sell this $50 bill. And I'm going to want to sell it for over $50 to try to make a profit off of it. I'm not going to sell it for $45 because then I'd be losing money. Which is why certain coins are certain prices and certain coins are only $1 or $2 because there's not really much value to them or they're very common. And a positive about what I'm doing on Whatnot is I get to see all these people who are passionate about the same things I'm passionate about, and seeing them bid on some coins that potentially want for their collection. It could be something like a steel cent, it could be something like a peace dollar, it could be anything in between. meeting all these new people and seeing what they like. And Dan himself actually has, I don't know if you would call them fans, but reoccurring people who are on every single Whatnot stream buying stuff. I don't know if you call them fans on an auction website, but that's what I would assume they are. Unfortunately, the auction that I help with today, it some auctions are busier and more successful than others, but this particular one, we had a lot of people looking for freebies and stuff being sold at a ridiculously low price. I sold quite a few, or tried to sell quite a few, 40% silver half dollars, 65 to 69. And he wants them sold at $8 because that's melt value and we're getting some money off of it. The first time I helped out, they went for $8, $9, $10. We were getting some good money off of them. This particular time, they either weren't selling or somebody wanted them for a lot lower. Like he would sell them for $6. Let's say he tried selling them for $7 or $6. They even still wouldn't even sell. So every day is going to be different when it comes to stuff like that. A negative thing that about what I do, which it's only the only negative thing that I have is basically just my preference and how I like to do things. It has nothing to do with the website or the coin shop or anything. It's all kind of based on my preference and what I like to do, which, if that's really the only negative thing about it, maybe I could help out one or two more times. But I did put in a bunch of job applications. I've had several interviews, and who knows what the next couple of weeks are going to be for me, because I'm always looking up from my previous job. And if you want a story on that and why I left it and how I left it, I could definitely give you that. But that'll be a whole separate video. And so far, what I like is all the commenters and viewers have had nothing but positive to say about me. Which, I mean, I didn't know what to expect. I'm just talking, trying to sell. And unlike my YouTube channel, it's a little more fast-paced. But being an auction website, it makes sense that it's fast-paced because you have to sell this, move on, move on, move on. And I'm not one of those people who can easily do that. Let's say I wanted to sell this $50 bill and I got it for $51. I say, thank you, it'll be to your house at this X amount of time, and I move on. Now, something like this quarter, I could talk about the history of it. I could talk about it as a cool year. I could ramble on it for 10 minutes. But that's not how you make money on an auction website. You have to constantly sell the next thing, sell the next thing, sell the next thing. And whether it is for $2 or $2,000, you got to make that next sale. And it makes sense being a business to try to sell as much as you can, because you want to make a profit and you want to be able to pay your bills, and I get that. But for me, it's just a little too fast-paced for my liking. I like to just sit and talk about a coin and give the history, and I like to go into so much more detail than do this. Still sent. I advertise it. I can say like it's beautiful condition, there isn't many left to sell, and try to get a couple bucks off of it. For an example of how fast-paced it can get, say that I put all these in coin flaps and I try to sell them all to you, or I fail, or I get a buck or two off of them. All these coins need to be looked through and sorted and auctioned off for the fast parts of the auctioning part. They need to be like, I need to go, this coin, okay, sell or not, sell or not, and get through all these coins. It would be generous if all these coins took 20 minutes. And the last few live streams I've done have been over 2 hours. Yeah, I generally am just not a fan of that boom, 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 boom. As if you could probably tell with my videos. And I try to keep my videos, cut, but I'm not going, okay, everybody, here we have a steel sun, okay, $1, $1. I'm not doing that. And another interesting thing that I like about it is, let's say you buy a coin from the shop, he ships them out like as soon as the stream is over, and they get to your house in a couple of days. It depends on where you are. And I am seeing a whole bunch of viewers from all over the United States. I've seen Florida and Virginia and New Hampshire and even out west, which I find very, very interesting. Would I go back and help out a couple more times? Yeah, I probably would, because I like work. I like helping out. Would I ever want to make a solid career out of this if ever I was given even part-time? If there were other aspects of the coin shop I could help out with, probably yes, but aside from just helping out a couple hours every few weeks, I wouldn't want to do this full-time, part-time. And now that I know that, I can maybe I could eventually open my own coin shop one day when I'm older, retired, and bored. But at this, for the time being, I just want to stick to my videos and find something a little more full-time that can pay for more than just a couple of things. But I appreciate being given a chance by the coin shop and Dan, and it's been a hello. It's been a wonderful experience, and I'm learning things that I probably wouldn't have regardless. So with that being said, I'm the Conservative Coin Collector. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Hit the bell icon. Until next time, I'm signing off. So long, everybody.